Shio gang and Shio to the parents. It's great to have you here, as close to here as we can be. Here is another little mini lesson from Kenny on some poetry information. Now, the first piece of information is a stanza. Stanza. And all a stanza is it's a type of paragraph for a poem. So when we're reading a story, we know we have a paragraph because there's a little indentation in it. And that indentation tells us that a slightly different idea is going to be talked about. Now in poetry, the stanza works the same way. It's a different idea, except this is separated by a space after it. And it just kind of makes it look a little more fancy. A lot of times a stanza will have 4 lines, but there are a few different common ones. Types of stanzas, we have couplet, quatrain, quintet, and septet. The most common ones that you will see are couplets and quatrains. And this is where the knowledge of prefixes does come in handy. So we look at couplet and we see that the first part of the word is a couple. So if you're in a couple, that means you're in a group of 2 people. So couplet is a stanza that is done with 2 lines. We have an example in the pink box. It just says this is a couplet, yeah, yeah, yeah. Couplet is like couple, yeah, yeah, yeah. Not the best poetry, I know, but it shows the example. So quatrain, we have that it starts with quat, quad means 4. If you have quadruplets, you have 4 babies born at the same time. If you have a quadrilateral in math, it is 4 sides. So a quatrain is a stanza with 4 lines. So we have the example in blue, another beautiful, amazing piece of poetry. It says, people of the world, see the quatrain. It has 4 lines, 4 lines. People of the world, quatrain is quatros, and it's all mines, all mines. Sorry, it was the best I could do with what I had, but I hope it helps you understand the idea between couplets and quatrains. Now, quintet, quint would have 5 lines, septet, sep would have 6 lines. But just for now, make sure that you definitely know couplets and quatrains. So here is how we would write a rhyme scheme. Whenever you have a poem that rhymes, the first line you will always label line A, just 'cause. It's the simplest way. So you label it line A. Now you read the line after it. If that line, the last word, rhymes with the last word in line A, it is also called a line A. Any line in your stanza that rhymes with line A will also be called line A. And that's just a way for you to mark it to know that these lines all have last words that rhyme with each other. Okay. So if you go to the next line and it does not rhyme with A, it becomes a line B. After that, any line that rhymes with line B in the stanza is also a line B. If the next line doesn't rhyme with A or B, it is line C. You on so on and so forth based on your need. But so that is just how we mark it so that we can see it and understand it. I'll give you some examples. Here is an example of an ABAB rhyme scheme. And that's just when the last word of every other line rhymes. So here is the Jabberwock by Lewis Carroll. And so first line we have, beware of the Jabberwock, my son. And by the way, this poem was written with a lot of nonsense words. So it's okay if you don't know what Jabberwocks are or Jub birds, because they're all made up and you get to imagine them in your head, which is part of the point of this poem. So, beware of the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware of the Jub bird and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. So, our first line is always line A. It ends with sun. So, from that point forward, any line that has the last word that rhymes with sun would also be line A. So, next line, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Catch does not rhyme with sun, therefore it becomes line B. Beware of the jub-jub bird and shun. Shun, sun, they rhyme. They're not spelled the same, one's O-N and one's U-N, but the sounds rhyme, and that's what matters, not the spelling. So shun and sun. So shun also becomes a line A. The frumious bandersnatch. Bandersnatch, catch. B, B. It's important to note in rhymes, in poetry, and you'll notice it in songs too, a lot of popular songs that you listen to. Sometimes you have to work the rhyme a little. It might not be an exact rhyme. So you have to make your judgment. If it's rhyme enough, go ahead and count it. So, for instance, in a packet I sent home, we have a poem that says, "The bounce of a ball, either short or tall," okay, those clearly rhyme, A and then A, ball tall, "will make it to the rim from the effort within." Now, rim, R-I-M, and within, W-I-T-H-I-N, is not an exact rhyme. However, for this poet and for this example, it's rhyme enough to count. So, we'll make it to the rim from the effort within. And so that's when you have to make your judgment call. And sometimes maybe even look at other stanzas. And so if you see the other stanzas clearly have an AABB rhyme scheme, then the author, the poet, definitely wants rim and within to be a rhyme. And you'll notice it with a lot of rappers, singer-songwriters. Sometimes the message that they want, they have to work the rhyme a little bit. Okay, here is an AABB rhyme scheme. Sally went to the store. Line 1 is always line A. So store is going to be A. And now anything that rhymes with store will also be A. So Sally went to the store. She nearly fell through the floor. Store, floor. That rhymes, so floor is also line A. She saw the prices sky high. Okay, high does not rhyme with store, does not rhyme with floor. It is therefore line B. And decided not to buy. Buy, high. This is why it's important to read poetry out loud, because the English language is wonky. And you look at the words on paper, high, buy, they don't look like words that would rhyme. So if you're just kind of like skimming through the last words, be careful with that, because sometimes they get tricky. So here you have sky, high, and buy. They're all spelled different ways, but they all end in the sound I. So high and buy rhyme. So that makes the rhyme scheme AABB. Another example on the right from Dr. Seuss. I do not like green eggs and ham. A. I do not like them, Sam, I am. A. I do not like them in a boat. B, because it does not rhyme with A. I do not like them with a goat. B, goat rhymes with boat. I do not like them in a house. Okay, house does not rhyme with boat. It does not rhyme with ham, therefore it is a C. I do not like them with a mouse. That is also C. Sorry, I haven't figured out how to draw on this program yet, but I hope that I'm getting it across right. And sorry if I'm taking too long or putting in too much explanation, because I just really want to make sure that I do it in a way to get it through to as many people as possible. And if I go too slow, you can do 1.5 speed. If I go too fast, you can pause it and go back. And as always, ask questions down below if you need any help. So, we do look at our green eggs and ham. We have ham, am, boat, goat, house, mouse. So that turns it into A, B, B, C, C. So if that was your stanza, that's what your rhyme scheme would be labeled. Label the rhyme scheme. So, this is a poem by Walt Whitman. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. All right. So wood is line A. Now you can look through, and anything that rhymes with wood will also be line A. Stood rhymes with would. Could rhymes with would. So all those will be line A. Next you have both. Both becomes a B. Both, undergrowth, that rhymes. They both end in oath. So your lines are A, B, A, A, B. Here's a couple more little examples. I saw a little frog. He was cuter than can be. He was sitting on a log, and I'm sure he croaked at me. So what's the rhyme scheme for that? A, B, A, B. Okay. And you can look at the pesky pair if you want. More label the rhyme scheme. So here is an example of a limerick, which I know is in one of the poetry packets. So, what is a limerick, mother? It's a form of verse, said brother, in which lines 1 and 2 rhyme with 5 when it's through, and 3 and 4 rhyme with each other. So, what is a limerick, mother? It's a form of verse, said brother, in which lines 1 and 2 rhyme with 5 when it's through, and 3 and 4 rhyme with each other. So let's look through. Our first line is A. That makes mother A. Next line is brother. Brother rhymes with mother, so that means lines 1 and 2 rhyme. So that's AA. So the third line ends with 2, so that becomes B. The fourth line ends with through, that becomes B because they rhymes with 2. And the last one, other, becomes 1 or A. So the rhyme scheme for the limerick is A, A, B, B, A. And so that's how rhyme schemes work. One more example. My beautiful pet pug is cooler than he seems. He's wrinkled and snorts, he's fun of all sorts, but he's only the pug of my dreams. So again, we have that limerick sound again. So pug is A, seems is B, snorts is C, because pug does not have anything that rhymes with it yet. Seems does not have anything that rhymes with it yet. So we have A, B, C. Now we have sorts. Sorts does not rhyme with pug. Sorts does not rhyme with seems. Sorts does rhyme with snorts. So that becomes a C. So we have A, B, C, C. The last line ends in dreams. Dreams does not rhyme with pug. Dreams does rhyme with seems. So it becomes A, B, C, C, B. And that's the rhyme scheme. That's how it works. Lastly, just putting up some alliteration on here for you. Thanks for sticking it out as long as you have. So alliteration in poetry is when the beginning sound of words repeat. So it's the sound of words. This is another time where it's really important to read it out loud, read it through in your head, because sometimes we have different letters that make the same sounds. So in this line, the W sound is not always caused by a W. So once I wondered why we wandered through the woods. So once starts with an O, but it gives us that W sound. So all the words that use alliteration here is once, wondered, why, wandered, woods. So all those words have the same beginning sound. That makes it alliteration. And consonance is in the alliteration category, but this is a repetition of the same consonant sound. So remember, our vowels are A, E, I, O, U. Our consonants are everything else in the alphabet. So a repetition of the same consonant sound within several words. And just know for consonants, the repeated sound can be at the beginning, middle, or end of words. They still don't have to be the same letter. It's the same sound. So our example on the bottom, and this is the last page, the solemn, uncertain sailor sailed toward sunrise once more. So the sound that we have repeating is the S sound, and sometimes it's made with S's, and sometimes it's made with C's. Sometimes it's at the beginning of a word, sometimes it's at the middle of the word. So, solemn, certain, sailor, sailed, sunrise, once. So that is the example of consonants and how it's a little bit different from alliteration. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Shki, as always, post anything down below, questions, other topics of mini lessons you might need. Email them to me if you're one of my students, if you have my email, or you have my school email at all. Just let me know how I can help. I hope everything is going well.